Senna, he was spectacular every single time he got in a car.
'78, I came to Europe for the first time to compete outside Brazil in the World Championship.
He had to be quickest all the time.
It was pure driving, pure racing. There wasn't any politics, no money involved either. So it was real racing.
If you'd seen his funeral, you'd know he was a bit more than that.
E que aquela aventura de andar em kart ficasse só nisso. Entretanto, está tomando uma dimensão maior e a gente se preocupa um pouco pelo fato da Fórmula 1 deve vir por aí, não é?
Que Deus proteja ele sempre de todos os perigos, que é o que eu mais temo. E quero agradecer ele pelo filho que ele é, por esse ano que ele fez de trabalho honesto e bem feito. Isso é mais importante que qualquer título para mim.
He had a God-given talent that I haven't witnessed anywhere else.
Few people really do know myself. They just don't understand what it takes from a racing driver, somebody that has left behind thousands of miles away, family and friends, to live in Europe, being so young and always in a fighting way. Nothing ever has come easy.
Was the ultimate driver's driver.
Chegou o grande momento. Ayrton está pronto para pilotar pela primeira vez um carro de Fórmula 1.
Eu acho que Deus está me dando um presente. Eu vim esperando há muito tempo. E ele está me ajudando também muito a ficar calmo, tranquilo, numa boa.
Superb start, has got away in the lead. It's Nigel Mansell second, the two Ferraris third and fourth. Nicky Lauda is in fifth position, sixth is Rosberg, seventh is Manfred Winkelhoff, eighth is Ayrton Senna. And Senna has come up through the field. He started in 13th place and he's now seventh. Ayrton Senna has now passed Nicky Rosberg and is in third place.
Apetite passa por Nicky Lauda! Assume a segunda posição Ayrton Senna, do ponto mais perigoso do circuito.
Well, I think we are watching the arrival of Ayrton Senna as a truly outstanding talent. He's catching Alain Prost at something like 3 seconds of that, and that is a truly staggering performance.
Prost is waving his hand at the officials. He wants to stop the race, and who can blame him?
There is, in fact, from a purist and a dispassionate point of view, no reason to stop the race.
There's an official in front of me with a red flag.
Vão parar a prova.
And the checkered flag is going out.
Inacreditável.
And Prost is stopping. And Senna crosses the line before he gets there.
O Ayrton vibra muito, ergue o seu braço. Ele festeja como vencedor na prova. Se ela continua por algumas voltas, tenho a certeza de que o Ayrton chegava para passar ele aí.
Tragic result for Senna. However, he's not about to be world champion this year. He will undoubtedly be world champion in the future if his career continues.
Fórmula 1 é política, é muito dinheiro. E quando você está chegando lá, você tem que passar por isso.
What about next year? You're not going to be satisfied until you're in a winning position, though, are you?
I believe if you are doing something like competing, like motor racing, you either do well or forget it.
Started out all alone. There's only one word that describes Ayrton's style, and that is fast. He would take the car beyond its design capabilities. He would brake later, fly into these corners where the car was just over the edge, and somehow he could dance a dance with that car to where it stayed on the track.
You look at these and you think, I can't do that.
I think Senna's ability to be able to drive completely on the limit. Some of the laps he did, we know, were unbelievable.
That day, I suddenly realized that I was no longer driving it conscious, and I was in a different dimension for me. The circuit for me was a tunnel, which I was just going, and I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding.
Ayrton was multiple seconds into the lead, had the race in hand, with only a handful of laps to go, and he received a radio message that said, "You are so far in the lead, slow down."
Ayrton Senna do Brasil, 12 pole positions da temporada, recorde absoluto de pole position. Ele vai tentando chegar à sua 8ª vitória, o que é recorde também absoluto de vitórias em uma só temporada, para atingir o seu primeiro título mundial na Fórmula 1. Senna vai tentando para colocar mais de 50% de vitórias em uma só temporada, se aproximando da 8ª vitória, de sonho que ele alimenta desde os primeiros anos, quando seu Milton, seu pai, desde lhe deu o primeiro kart, quando ele partiu para ser campeão de kart, para ser campeão inglês de Fórmula 4, para ser campeão inglês e europeu de Fórmula 2000, para ser campeão inglês de Fórmula 3. Aí vem Ayrton Senna, são poucas curvas, são poucos metros, ele tem muita vantagem para a próxima. É a confirmação de um talento, da garra, da vontade, da determinação de um piloto. Vai frear pela última vez para passar da Xinguei. O diretor de prova aguarda, o Brasil inteiro aguarda. Ayrton Senna, ergue o punho, vibra, é a Brasil! Ayrton Senna, do Brasil! Campeão! Brasil! 88! Ayrton Senna do Brasil!
Think you have a limit. As soon you touch this limit, something happens and somebody can go a little bit further. With your mind power, your determination, your instinct, and the experience as well, you can fly very high.
Halfway through the night.
Here's Ayrton Senna on his slicks with Mansell by the look of it, also on brand new slicks. So the two of them side by side, and Senna just got the better of Mansell there.
Make every whisper turn into a scream. I dreamed I could fly.
For him, be second was the first of the losers. He just hated that. It was nothing for him but winning.
So, in the end of the day, when you saw the yellow helmet, you know you're in trouble.
Whoosh! Incredible. Straight past.
In the middle of the night.
I always thought that he was just too intense about winning. And he actually believed that he had a God-given right to win.
He was the toughest driver and the most ferocious driver to protect his area or space.
I wish I could fly out in the blue over the
Brief moment and then bouncing away the edge. Oh, really heavy braking battle between the two teammates.
I felt 18 years of age to see the happy face he'd got. It was unbelievable.
I remember the spray as he went. When everyone else was cautiously going around thinking, ooh, I better be careful, he just went, go. And he was off. Gone. He was brilliant, but he knew he could do it.
His precision in the wet, he was just unbelievable. He just filled the car so much more. In the wet, you have to be very precise. You cannot make any judder with the steering. Or you've got to be much more gently with it. And Ayrton filled the car much more than any other driver.
It was making me hold my breath. And I was having a job to get my breath at the best of times. You just thought, well, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It can't stay like this. It's bound to go off. And there he did, kept going and going and going. Nobody knew where anybody was.
Jonathan Palmer going into the pits and Senna goes for it. He goes through. Ayrton Senna takes the lead on the 57th.
Why does my soul feel so bad?
For me, Ayrton Senna undoubtedly was the number one.
I would put him number one. You know, he was definitely the greatest driver.
Why does my soul...
Senna bateu forte. Ali na Tamburello.
Earlier today, the auto racing world lost perhaps, many people will tell you, its greatest competitor and best driver. Ayrton Senna, the three-time world champion, was killed today in a Formula One race in Imola. 41 total career wins, 65 pole positions, and the 88, 90, and 91 World Driving Championships. Our sympathies to the Ayrton Senna family. He will be missed greatly by all of us interested in auto racing. And we're just going to jump into a car here and take a couple of silent laps in memory of the great former world champion.
Why does my soul feel so bad?
Greatest motor racing drivers, Ayrton Senna, has died after a crash at this afternoon's...
Senna, 3 times a world champion, suffered massive head injuries.
A million people lined the streets of this city.
The Brazilian government accorded full military honors.
In Brazil, at his home country, has declared 3 days of mourning.
This is the blackest day for Grand Prix racing that I can remember in the many, many years that I've been covering. Should be arguably the greatest driver who has ever lived in the history of Grand Prix racing. Makes it double. Ayrton Senna was a great personality, not only as a driver, but as a man.